Hi, you guys. Welcome to the Budget Rescue, day 5. You guys made it. We're at day 5. It has been a very busy and a very full and a very, I hope, exciting and somewhat eye-opening week for you. You guys have done some hard work. You've done some of the work in the emails. You've done some of the work here. We've done a lot of learning. I've gone off on a lot of tangents to try to teach you guys some different stuff that has come up. And it's so awesome that you guys are here. You are in exactly the right place. It's a brand new year. It's the best time to focus on making positive change in your life, right? It's when everybody's focused on doing all that kind of stuff. And money changes are a really good change to make. So before we get started today, I want to make sure to tell you guys to watch all the way to the end, because I've got a bonus at the end that you're going to want to make sure that you are here for and that you hear. So you guys have done awesome. Where we kind of left off yesterday, let me make sure I'm looking over at the email. Okay, so here's the thing. You guys have done so awesome with all of this hard stuff, right? So let me make sure that you are with me. So on day 1, we talked about being aware of what you had coming in and going out. And then we talked about, for day 2, keeping a log of that and making sure that you are tracking every little bit of your spending. And then for day 3, we talked about looking at your categories and making sure that they make sense. Logging your top 3 categories, making sure that you know what are your top 3 categories that you are spending money in. Yours are probably different from mine. Yours are probably different from your neighbors or your sisters. It's important to know for you where you're spending the most money. So that's what we talked about for day 3. And then for day 4, we talked about looking at those 3 things, really taking a hard look at those things and saying, do I really want my money to be going these places? Should it be going these places? And in what of these categories do I want to improve on, right? And then how am I going to do that? That's what we talked about for day 4, because you can't just say about anything, right? You can't just say, I'm going to lose weight, right? Everybody can say that. I want to start eating healthier. But the change comes in the steps you take and the things you do to actually make that happen. A goal is just pretty words to say, and they always sound pretty, and they're things that we really want. But if you don't have the plan of how to actually make it happen, chances are it's not going to happen. So that's what we talked about with day 4. So for day 5, I talked about in the email how you need to start doing it differently. If you want different results, you need to do it differently. You've been doing things one way, and maybe you go in and out of handling money well and handling money not so well. But from prior to taking this 5-day class here, you were doing things one way. And my hope is that you are now looking at things a little bit differently and doing things differently. But this is only the beginning. So the truth is that your life could be drastically different in just a few short months if you choose to do it different, and if you choose to make the choices to do that and to take some steps into doing things differently. And I get that, my life hasn't always been what it is now either. There was a time when we were first married where my husband and I had a lot of fun spending a lot of money. We weren't keeping track of it. We were young newlyweds, and we didn't know any better. We hadn't really, learned a lot about how to handle the day-to-day money coming in and going out. I remember calling my mom and saying, when are the bills going to stop coming? Because I lived at home till I got married, so I had no idea how many different bills. I remember saying to her things like, you mean I have to pay for trash? I have to pay for water? What is this? And so we were very naive, and we just spent. Now, we had fun, but we just spent money all over the place. And so I know what it's like to all of a sudden realize, wow, what have we done? Where has it all gone? We were both working. We both had good paying jobs, and we had nothing to show for it. And so I know what that's like too. But between there and here, now we've paid off 2 different mortgages, a mortgage on 2 different houses. We've raised 9 kids. We pay for 9 kids, which, let me tell you, is not cheap. And we now are living debt-free in the dream house that we built. But it was all steps to get from there to here. But I want to point out that I haven't always been here. I used to be over there, and I had to learn how to get to the new places. I had to learn and choose to do it differently. And that's the same thing that I'm saying you guys need to do. So one really exciting, the most exciting piece of news is that for right now, the doors for Thriving on a Dime, which is my money saving community, I've talked about it a few times here and mentioned a couple of the members at different times and things. The doors are open to the masses from now through Thursday, which isn't something I do all that often. I don't open the doors wide open to the masses because I try to keep people are coming into the community, kind of different times throughout the year, but I only open it to the masses 2 or 3 times a year because I try to keep it small. I try to keep the amount of people coming in at one time small because it's a place where I give a lot of individualized attention. And if there are too many people, I obviously can't do that. And so that's why the spots are limited for it anytime the doors open to the masses, because being small is really important when we are working through something as important as money. And so there are so many members in there who have had their lives changed in the same way that I have over the years. There are people who used to be struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, and they're not anymore. And it's all a series of baby steps. And I think that is always the most enlightening piece of the puzzle for new members when they get started is I think so many of us think that saving money or being money wise is hard. And we think it means that we're not going to be able to have fun anymore. And that if you join a money saving community or if you start learning and create a budget and all this stuff, that it's going to be a matter of you saying no to everything that you love in life. And that's not at all what it is. And you guys have heard me say here, spending money is not bad. Like, I'm not going to tell you spending money is not bad. It's not. It just needs to be money that you should be spending and that you are aware you are spending. My hope for you and for everybody in my money saving community is that every dollar that leaves your hands is a dollar that you want going to the place it's going, because so often we don't have any idea. And what happens is when we don't have any idea, like we talked about in day 2, when we don't have any idea where that money is going, it's most likely not going to places that you would choose. And when you sit back and look at it like you guys did on day 2, you say, at least about some things, wow, I had no idea that much money was going here, that much money was going there. And so that's not what I want. I want you guys to be able to stop experiencing that kind of lifestyle and start experiencing the kind of lifestyle that can help take you where I've come and where other members in the group have come. Check this out. There's one of our members, her name is Jennifer, and she said this, and I think this sums up a lot of what people kind of feel. She says, I'm just listening to the lessons on Christmas, which is module 3. And she says, between me and my husband, we did a lot of these things already just from what we have learned so far. So in module, the Christmas lesson is module 1. So in module 3. So in module 1 and module 2, she had already learned some money saving skills. So she's saying we had already been doing that from what I learned. And I knew that we were learning, but I realized we've been changing our minds and habits. Maybe one day I'll be able to articulate more why we find Jennifer so helpful after trying so many things and failing. It's a simple message, and that's what I try to portray. That's what I tried to give you guys here this week is it's not an overcomplicated message. Saving money isn't complicated, but it's just for most of us, we haven't learned, right? And so she says because she's teaching us how to learn, not just giving us a list of things to do, we're improving. And then in response to that, one of our other members said, Jennifer is so easy to listen to, and she understands because she speaks with the passion of someone who's been there before and knows how it works. And that is why this has become my passion, because I know how hard it is. And I know how frustrating it is and scary and stressful and all of that stuff. And if I can just take a little bit of that away and set you guys on the right path, that's what my passion has become. And that's why I love what I do and why I'm excited for you guys to join. Another member said, I'm so grateful for Thriving on a Dime because of all we've learned in this past year. Listen to this. We made enough progress that we were able to pay down a ton of debt, approximately $10,000, and we saved enough money to pay for a cruise to Mexico. I will say I was a little bit jealous when she was saying that she was going on a cruise to Mexico. the biggest part of me was saying, yes, you go girl. But there was just a little part that said, man, that sounds awesome. But we bought a house this year instead. So I guess I can't really say that. But you guys, this stuff is life-changing, and it can be life-changing. The thing is that Thriving on a Dime is unlike anything else because it's really not a course. It's an interactive community where we do things together, especially the magic happens in the Facebook group. That's where we take additional challenges together. We're starting to feature a new member every month where we post about that member. That member can ask some certain questions. We're all, whatever questions, whatever they're struggling with, and we're all going to put our heads together and try to help that person. We're going to celebrate, really spotlight the wins of each person when it's their turn. So it's we focus on celebrating wins. We share deals there. We share different things that we're learning as different members go through. They share what they're learning, and it really becomes a great place to realize that you're not going it alone, because learning anything new, I don't know about you, but learning anything new is so much harder to do on your own. So the best part is there's 24 modules, and there's 4 lessons at least in each module. So that's more than 100 lessons in the overall membership from when you work through from beginning to end. And you can actually join for free for the first month. So there's like no obligation to do that. I'll tell you a little bit more about it in a second. But I would be so excited to keep teaching you guys there. We're going to keep interacting here for a little bit too. But that's where all the real kind of people who are on the same page, that's where we all hang out. So the thing is that saving money doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be stressful. I'm not sure why you're here, right? I'm not sure why you were here this week. You could have come because you were scared, because you're feeling stressed, because you're feeling afraid for where your money future is kind of headed, right? That's kind of where I was at, and I was realizing that it was January, actually. Maybe that's why January is always such a time that's near and dear to my heart for this. But I was realizing, you know what? We're renting a place, and if we don't make some serious changes, we are never going to be able to afford a house. We're never going to be able to have a family. We're never going to be able to do anything other than just have all this fun stuff, which was fun in the moment, but I don't know where it all went. And so I didn't want to do that anymore. And so it could be that you're tired, right? Money stress is exhausting. So for whatever reason you came here, you basically have 2 options right now, just like I was talking about in the email. Option 1 is you can continue on doing the same thing that you've always done, and chances are you're going to end up in the exact same place next January saying, man, I want to make it different this year. Or option 2 is you can commit to actually doing something to make it different. And so you make the commitment and you make the decision to learn. And the great thing is you can come and learn with a whole bunch of other really cool people. So it's not even that scary of a thing to think about learning new stuff, because you're doing it with people. And so there's huge transformations that are taking place. And you guys, you deserve that too. So you can join Thriving on a Dime by going to theintentionalmom.com/budget. And you can join, getting that first month for free, and you can check it out. This month, we're focusing on the budget over in the Facebook group, so we're taking a deep dive on that. And here's the cool thing. I'm teaching an intensive class on that on Monday. And so if you join Thriving on a Dime this weekend, you can sit in on that class as well. And what I'm doing is I've taught in video lessons and I've taught in email lessons how to create a budget step by step. But in this training, I'm really going to be actually teaching it like I've been teaching you here, step by step by step. It's actually a 9-step process, 9.5-step process. And by the time I'm done teaching that to you guys, you will have everything you need to have an actual working budget. We kind of started tinkering in it here this week, but you guys are going to have that budget done as long as you join this weekend, so you're there for class on Monday. And that happens over in our private Facebook group that comes with Thriving on a Dime. So again, it's only open through Thursday of next week to the masses, and spots are somewhat limited. I will cut them off at some point, depending on how large the group is getting. So I'm excited for you guys to join. You can keep the momentum going, but the big thing is you really can make a huge difference in your life. Most members are saving on average $300 or more in the first month. So the first month is free, and after that it's $29 a month. But if you're saving at least $300, you're basically getting paid $271 to learn some new things that aren't really that hard to do. So it's kind of a simple math equation at that point, and it's fun. It's actually fun. We have a lot of fun together. I call them my people, the people over in the group. So anyway, we would love for you guys to join us, and if you join this weekend, then you can come sit on class with us on Monday, where we're going to really go through the 9.5 steps of a budget, and so you'll have all that together. So you guys get to choose. You've got to do it different if you want different results. So we would love for you to join us. I will see you guys there.